Okay, we are live. I am joined by the amazing Renata Daniel, who is lives in Newcastle. So I've met her a couple of times and I really enjoy hanging out with her. So welcome, Renata. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this.
You're very welcome. It's an absolute joy. Now, just let everybody know who's listening live and listening back on the replay who you are and what you do, because you have so many strings to your bow. So Renata is the owner at Magical Solutions, where she does the amazing tarot readings that she does. I wouldn't even, you do read tarot, but it's got such a special magical kind of twist to it, which we'll chat about soon. And she's the co-owner at Anne and Renata Frightfully Good, where the two of them are just such a scream. And they do a podcast together, Spirit Talk Australia Radio. And she also runs Newcastle Ghost Tours. So welcome again. Please, Renata, tell us a bit about all of these things that you do.
Well, okay, so I have been a professional tarot reader for over 30 years, and I guess that's where I started to do my spiritual work, although it really started when I was about 13, 14 and 15, and I started to really dig within my own personal ancestral work and where my family originated from and the connections to all of that. I started doing tarot readings, kind of flitted in and out of different women's circles while I did my other mundane jobs in life. During that time, I also had children, of course. I did a counselling course for which I am certified. I have a diploma in personal counselling. And so I thought that would be really great to use that at some point in time in the future. Little did I know that that was the groundwork that I needed to have to do the work that I do now in the spiritual industry, which is a lot of tarot reading. I do healing work as well. And of course, when I sort of jumped the shark and went into ghost hunting and paranormal investigation, I find that the whole counselling thing that I do is absolutely required and needed, because there's a fine line between the two. And I find that a lot of spiritual work needs to be done for people who are having issues with what they believe might be some form of paranormal activity.
Yeah, and you do that privately, don't you? You can go into people's homes and things like that, because I know you do tours and things, and that's obviously in a group setting, but I know that you've been to people's houses and had a look at what they're dealing with personally. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That's right. And it's a big subject, and I think a lot of people get it very confused with what they see on TV or in Hollywood, and they think that it is exactly like that, and it's not. It's
so what is it like?
It can be very confusing. It can be very muddled and mixed up with what we see as things that might be a mental illness or issues with anxiety, stress, depression, and things that people can actually create in their own lives that tend to then seem to have their own existence. It's like we birth into this world something that's nasty and horrible because of the way we feel. So we can actually bring into this world beautiful things and things that are gracious, gorgeous, and life-saving. But we can also birth things that are really horrendous and awful, and we can get attacked by them mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And this is what we need to, I guess, deal with when we're looking at the things that we look at when we go into people's homes.
Yeah, so when they're having this sort of an experience, because I've had one of these experiences before when I was like majorly stressed, and I had anxiety, I had depression, and I manifested, if you will, these three beings that were all very, very different, that I could actually see. Now, nobody else could see these beings, but I, perfectly lucid, very, intelligent woman. And I was like, no, I can really see something, right? So is
Absolutely.
that something that's in my mind, or would have been in my mind, or is this something that I've actually manifested and created the energy around that's now come into form, I suppose?
A bit of both, because
Bit of
everything
both.
starts in the mind. Everything starts as a thought, and these thought processes can be extremely uh, hard to get rid of if we cannot get on top of them quick enough. So what we think about breeds our environment, as you well know, and we continually have to do this day-to-day work where we stay on top of things. It's not easy nowadays. We live in
No.
a stress-filled environment, and not only are we dealing with our own issues, but we're dealing with everybody else's issues, and we don't have to go far. We just have to go on a platform like this, and you can actually spread really good news, or you can really bring people into a place where they feel stress and anxiety for the rest of the day, just by something that has been triggered for them that sits deep within their subconscious. So these are complex days, complex times, but also the best time in the world to spread good news.
Yeah, I think we all need a little bit of good news, especially with the
Absolutely.
recent COVID restrictions here in New South Wales. Wonderful. I can't wait to read your story inside of this book, Renata. And I know that you have written a number of ghost stories and things before as well. What intrigued you enough to say yes to the Phoenix Rising opportunity, to this multi-author book opportunity?
I was thinking about that this morning, and I had a whole spiel done of what I was going to say. And then there was a moment where I thought, no. And I thought to myself, look, if I leave enough of myself, a little bit of myself in a whole lot of different places, maybe I'll be remembered for something. And it's a weird thing to say, but I think all of us have this fear of being forgotten completely.
Sure.
And I know a lot of creatives do things that literally leave pieces of themselves everywhere, whether it be an artwork, a painting, poetry, whatever it might be. It's like they give a little piece of their soul into that work, and it will remain beyond them. So that's kind of the thinking of this as well. I have 1,000 ideas running through my head all the time. I love to create those and make them real in some way, and being part of this book is like that. It's like saying, well, this is me, this is what I'm attempting to do. I want to leave this as a little bit of a legacy, so that other women who are in my position possibly think that they can do that too.
Yeah, amazing. It's definitely a legacy leaving thing, storytelling. I was having this conversation the other day that storytelling, whether it's oral or written or painted on a cave wall, is the only thing that, or one of the only things that I believe has not changed, has stood the test of time. Us humans, we like to innovate and we like to change things, and we're always, seeking the next thing. But storytelling has stuck around. It may change form on the regular occasion, or it may expand into different forms, but it just stays, and leaving that legacy in the form of a story or a written work or an oral work is so important, I think. Even if it's just a personal thing, it might not even come down to business. I've often thought back, I would have loved it if my grandparents, who are no longer with us, wrote a book so that I just learned about their amazing life, and what is amazing, not, what is mundane to them, is amazing to me. Like, I found out that my gran had, one of her jobs was, doing those ratings on movies, like PG, MA15 plus. I was like, that's so interesting.
That's
but,
right.
But she probably didn't think it was.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just leaving these little legacies everywhere for those who come after us, and also to inspire other women that may be in similar situations or heading towards a similar situation, that, this is what we can do. This is what we can achieve.
That's true. We are in a time of great change at the moment when it comes to women and their position in this world, and what women can do of any age. And when, for example, in my position, when I am now in that crone stage where, you know, normally people would go, just go away somewhere in a corner
Please
because
don't.
really you're not needed in this world anymore. You've done your bit. It's time for us of a particular age to also go, no, we're not finished yet. Actually, we're just coming into our power. And so, no,
100%
we
agree.
aren't going anywhere. We're going to be a
Good.
voice of recognition. Yeah,
Absolutely. As used to be in old times, right?
absolutely.
Our crones and our older women were respected elders in the village. Like, you would go to them for advice. Even if you didn't
Absolutely.
like what they had to hear, it was still wisdom gained from years of experience and seeing change across a lifetime. It's magical. I'm so glad that you are going to be sharing your story inside this book. And apart from leaving your legacy, is there anything else that you would like to achieve from being in this, or like to see as a result from being in a multi-author book project like this?
Well, one thing that I really enjoy is that the proceeds are going to charity, which is absolutely amazing. So I'm really happy about that. Number two, it's about learning from other women who are going through the process as well and being part of the collective, who all of us are striving to get our voices out there. It's also the wonderful group that you have created of women who know so much about so many different things, so that we can all gain knowledge when we are then in our process of writing our own books or creating our own identity online or in social media or wherever it might be. We're not all skilled. We don't know all of the ins and outs of this crazy, crazy business that we are all in, but we can all learn from each other, which is great, especially for me, who is about as non-techie as can be. I need to be spoon-fed through everything. Thank you very much. So it's really great to be with other women who give you a hand in all of that.
Inside of these multi-author book projects, it's something that I'm super passionate about. It's one of my top 3 things in doing this, is creating a community that lifts each other up, that collaborates, that refers each other, that does business with each other, that, you know, supports each other. Because in that way, you know, I think there's this movement away from competition to collaboration, and it's like, lift a sister up, don't stand on her head to get, you know, ahead of her.
Absolutely.
Like, there's billions of people in this world, and your unique person is your unique person to do business with. So even if you do the exact same thing as somebody else, you know, people are going to choose you for different reasons, for your energy, for your voice, your, you know, the way you do things is always going to be uniquely you. So it's something I'm super, super passionate about. So thank you so, so much for joining me live in conversation. We finally set the launch date for Phoenix Rising, the book that Renata is in September, 24th of September, I believe. Is that right? My brain is like a sieve today. Let me have a look. 24th of September is correct. So keep an eye out for them. We're also going to be doing an amazing summit to showcase all of our beautiful authors. And we do have one single spot left for anybody who is interested in an opportunity like this and joining amazing women such as Renata inside of the Authors Inner Circle. So thank you so much for your time today, and we'll be speaking soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sharon.
You're welcome. Bye.